Yo, guys. I'm trying to make a little video here to kind of calm my nerves a little bit. Had some crazy stuff happen this morning. First thing, animal related, pet related, accident related, bathroom accident. Anyway, it's a horrible thing to wake up to. A horrible thing. It's a crime against humanity. But basically, I want to talk about the Caps a little bit and just whatever comes to mind. I'm getting into town in the next 5-10 minutes, so we need some breakfast. But so the Capitals, the Washington Capitals, clinched their series last night, which is just so freaking amazing. I'm so happy and excited. I will admit it feels a little bit different, and it's funny because the story, it's so great and also funny to hear the storylines play out, to just think about things. There's just a lot of things to think about. So I'm going to do a retrospect. This is the Capitals versus Canadiens in retrospect. So one of the things that we heard, or one of the storylines or thoughts going into the series was, well, the Caps aren't playing very well. And they weren't towards the end of the series, to the end of the season. They weren't. They were pretty bad. They were like 2-7-1 or something like that to finish the year. But just not very good, right? Not very good. Logan Thompson was injured. That's a massive question mark. Alexei Protas was injured. That's a massive question mark. Massive losses, right? But then again, the Capitals team is so stacked and thick that we're just like, okay, well, we're still the Capitals. We're still deep up in this. Get up the dang road, dude. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can't be doing this. You're straddling the shoulder and the road. He's going 25 and a 55. Anyway, we'll just give him a little help here. Let him get caught up. The Caps were stacked, even though they had those losses, and it was also thought that, well, we'll get Thompson back at some point. He may even start the playoffs, and we'll get Protas back eventually too. Probably not to start, but we'll get him back. On the Canadian side, the whole story is, well, the Canadiens are, look at the Canadiens. The Canadiens are playing amazing. And sorry if I have some tone in my voice about things, because I am still a little, I don't know the word, not bitter, not annoyed, but just still a little bit like, I guess I'm still laughing about the Canadiens a little bit because of some of the way their fans were and the way people were saying things about the Caps and stuff like that, and just delusional kinds of things. Anyway, but the Canadiens were playing really good towards the end of their season. Really good. High-flying, fast, young, small, but fast. And young. They had an amazing breakout star defenseman, Lane Hudson, come forth. Just a bomb. Just amazing defenseman. Young super defenseman. Unpredictable puck-moving playmaker with 60 assists on the season. That was like it was pretty much, it's close to a record, if not a record, or tied with a record for a rookie defenseman. But just amazing. They led by Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, Uri Slavkovsky, and then Martin St. Louis, the coach. So things are coming along good for the Canadiens. And they're speeding into the playoffs, and they made it in. They had to fight a couple games to get in, and they did just that, and they just barely got into the playoffs. But they came into the playoffs with momentum. They came in as the underdogs, and they came in with stuff to prove, or nothing to prove, really, because they're like, look, dude, we're just happy to be here, and we're going to do whatever we can. And we're dark horses, and we're underdogs. The Capitals have had a history of choking. That history has been... It's been a long time since we've talked about the Caps as chokers, really. I mean, the Caps haven't made it out of the first round in 7 years, but still, we haven't really talked about them as chokers since they won the Cup, really. I'd say they're not chokers. I think they've kind of shed that skin. I really hope that they have, of course, But anyway, they were swept in the first round last year by the New York Rangers. And, that was really unfortunate. The Rangers were pretty stacked and playing just amazing. And we were just we were the Montreal Canadiens last season. So we were happy just to be there, you know. So that. Now we get into it, right, and we play game one, and we're thinking, okay, you know, this could be anybody's series. A lot of people were talking about, like, this could be anybody's series. This could be, you know, the Caps. But you know what? The Canadiens, they might give them a run for their money. And the Canadiens could do this. They could do this. That was the talk. And, of course, the talk was that the Capitals could win, of course, but it was not a lot of doubt in the Capitals. But just like a lot of, you know, you never know about these Canadiens kind of thing. And so I don't want to say it was a bias like a 70% Caps, 20% Canadiens. I want to say by the time the season started, by the time the series started, I think it was more like 55-45. It was close like that. It was really close, the way people were talking about the series and stuff. So we get into game one, and it is close, and it's a quick, fast, high-flying game. The Caps come out of the gate willing to just destroy anything in their path, which is amazing and wonderful and so enjoyable as a Caps fan and a playoff fan, a hockey fan. The Canadiens are flying high, and it's a nail-biter. It's a really close one, and the Canadiens, I believe, tied it late, and it goes to overtime, and Ovechkin wins. He scores in overtime. And so we take game one, so there's a side that says, well, of course the Caps won. The other side says, well, yeah, but, you know, that game could have gone either way. And that was going, yeah, that game could have gone either way. I'm so glad we won, but at the same time, that game could have gone either way. Happy to get the win. Or the 2 points, as Logan Thompson says. Then we go into game two, and it's kind of similar, I'd say. High flying again, fast paced. And one thing I noticed about the first two games of the Caps was we really seemed to be struggling to get the puck out of the defensive zone every time. It just seemed like we were just struggling to get it out all the time, which is very frustrating and annoying when you see it get turned over to the Canadiens, and then the Canadiens pour it on, and then we got to fight and all this stuff. Caps get a 1-goal lead late in the game and hold on to stifle the Canadiens' attack. They held down the lead, they protected the lead, and they won the game. So up 2-0. Great 2-0 lead. But at the same time, we're like, dude, these Canadiens ain't nothing to mess with here. They are just not around to play. These guys are quick, serious, deadly, and they don't care. So they don't care about your feelings. They don't care about how much you want to win. They are on a heat-seeking mission to do the same thing. Game 3 happens in Montreal, and everyone talks about Bell Center, or whatever it's called, the Bell Center, I think, Montreal, and how crazy it's going to be. What an atmosphere, and rightly so. It's very true. What an atmosphere for sure. And it gets crazy. The crowd gets crazy, and Game 3 goes off the rails. The Caps get beat. Basically, ultimately, the Caps get beat. And there's a lot of physical play, a lot of penalties, a lot of running around, a lot of revenge, a lot of roughing, a lot of penalties again. And this was not going the Caps' favor. The crowd was into it so much, and the Canadiens were just running roughshod on the Caps. The Canadiens were actually making the Caps look a little bad. And then we had Dylan Strome collide with Logan Thompson and take Logan Thompson out. Logan Thompson is literally limping off the ice. And we're like, oh my gosh, well, here it is, what do we want to say, case in point right here, you know? Like, well, shoot, man, here we go. Like, we were getting these, when it rains, it pours. It feels like everything good is now falling apart and everything bad is happening. That's like how it felt, you know? Yeah, that's how it felt. I need to get some breakfast. And I hate spending money on breakfast. I've been spending so much money. It's ridiculous. $10 here, $10 there. Makes me sick. But anyway, I'm going to get some cheap burritos from McDonald's. Cheaper burritos. So Game 3 was basically a nightmare. And of course, but at the end of the day, you have a 2-0 lead and they win Game 3. That's like the biggest non-surprise of all time. Because if a team goes up 3-0, everybody knows what that means. That means it's over, basically. It's pretty much over. And they didn't go up 3-0. So, that was our opportunity to really put the Canadiens in their grave, put them to sleep, forever, pretty much. But the way the series was going, it honestly felt like, I'm going to pause because I got to order this food, but it honestly felt like even if we went up 3-0, it felt like that wasn't even safe. It felt like that wasn't even safe, So yeah, it felt like even if the Caps went up 3-0, it still felt like, yeah, but these Canadiens, though, it could just go either way. And so the Canadiens pull out Game 3. It's a frustrating win for them. For me, it's a frustrating loss. I'm just frustrated. But I have to be happy with where we are still. Even though the Caps were leading the series, it felt like the Canadiens were, because that's the way it was going. So time passes, and then we get into Game 4. And everyone, all of us Caps fans and the players alike, were basically saying the same thing. All right, we got to stay out of the box. We gotta not let this crowd get into it. We got to play a simple, frustrating game to shut them down. We got to keep it simple, and we got to shut them down. And I believe we did that. I didn't get to watch all of Game 4, but I remember seeing a good amount of it. And it wasn't like Game 3, like the Caps weren't running around, the crowd wasn't into it the whole time. There were times when the crowd was silenced. And so in other words, I think the Caps were definitely keeping, I'm going to pick my food up here at this window. I was going to say have an excellent day, but it was this like Hispanic lady, and I don't think she would have known what that meant. Maybe though, I could be wrong, of course. I just didn't want to push it. It could be too complicated, You don't want to confuse anyone. But, the Caps were playing a better game, but still, it was neck and neck, honestly, kind of back and forth. And then it happens. You guys. I can't believe this. I can't remember if this is a third period or a second period. I feel like it was the second period, but it also felt like it was the third period. So, I don't know. It could have been either one. I think it was the third period. But anyway, it may as well have been the third period based on the way it went, or the way it felt, or the way I remember it. But anyway, actually no, it was the second period. It was the second period because that's what everyone was saying. Tom Wilson, had been public enemy number one. There'd been a bunch of scrums in Game 3. He and Josh Anderson fought on the bench, had a ref behind him, so it wasn't in between them, so it wasn't a true fight. But on the bench, all kinds of chaos broke out in the end of the second of Game 3. But here in Game 4, Alexander Carrier is carrying the puck up the ice along the half boards, middle of the ice, by the red line. And here comes freaking Tom Wilson, and Tom Wilson hits Carrier, and it's one of the best hits the entire playoffs. It's one of the best hits of the year. It's one of the best hits of Tom Wilson's career. It's just one of those hits that makes you go, oh my gosh. Like, it made me so happy when that happened. I was losing my mind. I was so thrilled. It was everything we needed. That hit was everything we needed. And everything the Canadiens did not. It was the game-changing hit. It was the moment that the game changed. And all the reporters kept asking the Caps the same questions after Game 3, or after Game 4, and even after Game 5. And they were asking about what point in the series did the momentum shift, or the momentum change. And everyone doesn't even answer the question. They just look at the reporter like, are you kidding me? Like, second period, Tom Wilson. Big hit, Tom Wilson. When Tom Wilson hit Carrier, he silenced the crowd. He knocked all the momentum out of the Canadiens somehow. It was like, and Caps fans, I know you guys will agree with me here, and I want you guys to feel this. I hope everyone those who can feel this, I hope you feel this. When Tom Wilson hit Carrier, it felt the same way as when, or very similar, as when Holtby made the save against Vegas. It was that moment that made you go, oh, shoot. Like, it was just amazing. A total momentum change. Like, I remember seeing Jonathan Tuck's face in that Vegas game, and he's just literally going, like, and it wasn't out of pure desperation, or it wasn't, like, out of disbelief, like he kept shooting and kept getting saved, and he just can't believe it's not going in. It wasn't like that. It was just like, this goes in. This type of goal goes in for them. The save in Vegas. This type of goal goes in for the Vegas Knights. So it's kind of like, why isn't this going in? And it was almost like, well, it didn't go in, so we're just going to keep going. But it made them stop, and it made them have to pick everything back up again and keep going. Like, it took the whole team to process that save the same way it took the whole Canadiens to process this hit. Because everyone was stopping, going, wait, was it dirty? It's Tom Wilson. Wait, was it dirty? That's a penalty. Wait, that was charging. And all the fans were going crazy. The fans were saying, oh, it's charging. They're saying it was a head hit. He left his feet. All these kinds of things. And it's like, any credible source at all is saying, that's an absolute joke. You guys are absolutely out of your minds for even thinking that. Paul Bissonnette said, basically, if you have a problem with that hit, you need to stop watching. You need to stop watching hockey. And I agree. If you have a problem with that hit, it's because you're a Canadiens fan. And if you have a problem with that hit, you honestly should stop watching hockey. You should start watching soccer or watch ballerina sports with LeBron James, because that's what he is. You should watch people flop around on the floor like that, like LeBron James, if you can't handle that hit. But that hit changed the whole entire complexion of the series, just like that. And less than a minute left, puck goes up ice again, and Brandon Duhaime's got the momentum. He's one-on-one, he's coming in, and the puck is like in the defender's feet, and it's tangled up, and somehow Duhaime gets it out of his feet and goes around the dude and drives the net and passes and shoots it, and it's all tangled up in the goalie, and McMichael's there for the rebound to tap it in, but it goes in anyway, and the Caps tie the game. And then the Caps score and take the lead. And I think it was 3-2. I think it was 3-2 when the Canadiens pulled their goalie in the third, and the Caps scored on the empty net. And I believe they scored once more, 5-2. Yeah, it was 5-2 final score. So just an amazing Game 4 win, 3-1 chokehold series lead. But still, even with that, still didn't feel that great. Still did not feel that great, because I'm still going, Game 5 is a must-win. If we go home and lose Game 5 on home ice, we're toast. And I want to be really careful about where I'm coming from with that, because I'm not trying to come from a really faithless place that says, oh, I don't have any faith in the Caps at all. If they lose Game 5, it's over. Because no, I would still have faith in them, yes. But there's certain opportunities you can't squander. And giving up a 3-1 lead in a series has been, we slayed that demon in 2018 amongst so many other demons we slayed that year. Beating the Penguins for one, getting out of the second round for one. Those are just, we climbed Mount Everest twice in that year. Our Mount Everest. But you just can't give up. You just can't give up that lead. You can't, when you have an opportunity to close a series and close out a team, you have to. Because if you don't, oh man, are you in trouble. Oh man, are you in trouble. And it's like, you just won this game, and now you just lost it. So you basically gave up that win. It's gone. So, yeah, we had to win that game. That's what I was saying. So my stance on Game 5 was, Game 5 is a must-win. For Capitals, it's a must-win. And let me mention about Game 4 again real quick. Coming into Game 4, after Game 3, the bloodbath that was Game 3, that was just a nightmare. Remember, Logan Thompson got checked and was limping out of the game. We're like, oh shoot, there's a star goalie. And our playoff hopes are going, oh my gosh. Our success hopes, our cup hopes are going, oh my gosh. Painful city. Well, anyway, Logan Thompson came back in Game 4 and started Game 4. Absolutely amazing. Mind freaking blowing. Mind blowing. Mind blowingly amazing. So Logan Thompson was in Game 4 or Game 5. So Game 5 comes around. I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I got to see what I needed to see. I got to see what I needed to see in a sizable chunk. It was great. And I first jump in, and the Caps are up 2-0. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're up 2-0. I was like, yes, yes, yes. But I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't even feel wrong. Like, a lot of times you can be up 2-0 and go, oh my gosh, how are we up 2-0? Oh my gosh, I'm afraid something's going to happen. Like, this is crazy. We're up 2-0. Well, what kind of fluky stuff happened? And then it gets crazy because you're also like, oh shoot, we're up 2-0. We're going to start feeling safe, and we're going to start playing, like, we're going to start playing not to win, or we're going to start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. And they're going to creep back in. We're going to get too comfortable. We have a 2-0 lead. We're going to get complacent. Not only did the Caps go up 2-0, they eventually went up 3-0. And like I said, I wasn't watching the game through this. I had a meeting, and I just happened to see the score and saw an alert on my phone, and that we went up 3-0. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And, too good to be true, really. So happy. And so yeah, that's happening. And then I get into the game, turn the game on to watch the rest of it, and the Caps are still leading, but they're leading 3-1. Okay, still like, oh my gosh, the Canadiens can come back. But for some reason, when I watched the game, I turned it on, I could see it. I wasn't worried. I wasn't worried that the Caps were going to lose. And I got to hurry up and eat these burritos before they get cold. But I remember, first of all, the Game 4 win, the Tom Wilson hit, it was like they had no answer. The Canadiens had no answer. And another thing was the size disadvantage the Canadiens had. Their players are so much smaller on average than the Caps players, and they're younger. And the Caps play a very physical game, bone-crushing game. And the Canadiens don't want to play that game. They want to play fast. And when the Canadiens are getting crunched, it's like, especially the Tom Wilson hit, that's why I say the series-changing hit, series-changing play, changed the whole complexion of the series. It told the Canadiens, well, what are you going to do now? You got Arbor Jacki out there, he can fight. You got Josh Anderson out there, he can fight. But nobody had an answer to Tom Wilson ultimately. Nobody had an answer to the Caps' physicality ultimately. And the Canadiens out-hit us a lot. They out-hit us, I think, in Game 5 and Game 4, probably Game 3 as well. But when they're smaller, no offense to Cole Caulfield, he's very short compared to most NHL players, but he's still a superstar. These younger, smaller players, I think they got disheartened. I think they got discouraged. And Martin St. Louis, the coach, was trying to tell them, like, dude, what are you guys doing? Like, I saw a clip from the practice after Game 4, going into Game 5 of the Canadiens, and he was not happy. And I just don't think it was there. I don't think it was there for them. I just don't think they had it, whatever it was. They needed to figure out something. They needed to figure out something to overcome the battle, to overcome Washington. And I just feel like they didn't have the answer, or the answers. They just didn't. Sam Montembeault, their goalie, was amazing, and then he got injured, and then Dobesh came in, and he was amazing as well. I mean, he was. I mean, you could argue he was average or passable, but he made probably one of the best saves of the playoffs last night, Game 5. Glove save, cross net feed, glove save. And if things were going the Canadiens' way, and he made that save, they probably would have won. But yeah, just a lot of crazy things. And so I'm watching the Caps game. I'm just like not really worried, like not worried. But still, no lead is safe. What is the most dangerous lead in hockey? The 2-goal lead, right? And that's what we have. So we're like, we got to win this. We got to finish this. And so time's winding down. Canadiens are, they're trying to build their attack. They're trying to get set up so they can pull their goalie. But we keep winning the battles, and we keep turning the puck over and keeping it in their end, and we keep we're playing really great forechecking, and we didn't even seem. It's not that we seemed aggressive. To me, it's that we just seemed to have it, and the Canadiens just didn't. It's like we just had the puck and they just couldn't get it, and everything was landing on our sticks. The puck was bouncing our way. It was coming to us, and it wasn't just like fluky, lucky bounces. It was like, no, the puck is coming our way, and they didn't have much time left, and they tried to build their attack, and we turned the puck over and got the puck again, take it up, and we held off the attack, and then we eventually break it down and turn it over and get it up to Brandon Duhaime, doggy, who eats the freaking lineup after reading it off, because that's who he is. And he takes it up ice and scores on the empty net, sealing the win. So just an amazing win, amazing series win. I'm so happy as a Caps fan, especially, to have that 3-1 lead finalized, because that's what we need, right? You can't just have a 3-1 lead and give it up. You gotta win. If you got a 3-1 lead, you gotta win. That counts with a score and a series lead. So I gotta eat my breakfast, guys, but thanks for watching. Let's go Caps. This next series is going to be something else. This is going to be a true test. This is where the rubber meets the road, boys. This is where, boys and girls, this is where it gets real, you guys. So this series could go either way. I don't see the Caps going in and completely getting dominated, and I'm so happy that that's true. I don't see the Canadiens, the Hurricanes going in, the Carolina Hurricanes going in and completely getting dominated, which is what worries me. But I actually can see that happening for some reason. Now, the Carolina Hurricanes are a fast team, and I don't want to underestimate them at all. They're a fast, hard-working, talented, experienced team. They haven't had a lot of deep playoff success, neither have we, but they have been in the discussion. They've been in the picture. They've been cup contenders, cup favorites here and there over the past 4 years, basically. And it is the Carolina Hurricanes season. It's their series to lose, basically. Like, they have to win. That's the expectation for them. They have to win. Our expectation is, yeah, well, we have to win too, but it's not the same. So I think luckily the pressure's on Carolina a little bit more, and we have home ice, which is great. And if I'm not mistaken, their star goalie Anderson is still injured. I believe that's right. Kochetkov played. And they did play the Devils, and they basically should have shut down the Devils. They had the series lead, doing well. But now they're about to play the Capitals, and I'm not trying to talk us up too much, so I don't want us to get ahead of ourselves. But the Capitals, no offense to the Devils were injured badly. The Devils are an amazing, great team, but the Devils were banged up. The Devils were too banged up to stand a chance against the Hurricanes, ultimately, unfortunately. The Caps are a different story, and we have the power of friendship. So let's go Caps.